committee. You don't need an ad hoc committee.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. The prayers is that His Excellency should visit the committee on the whole, sir.
Yes.
Point of order, sir. After you hit the gavel to confirm that the motion that I raised here in this hallowed chamber had been adopted, you did mention that you were referring the motion to be handled by an ad hoc committee. I don't know if I heard correctly. But, Mr. Speaker, my prayer, sir, is that the Father of the nation should visit us here at the hallowed chamber so that we can engage him face to face, sir.
Honorable Marcos.
In section 80 and 81 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, vests the powers of appropriation in the National Assembly, and that the credibility of the budget rests not only on the size of the figures appropriated, but on the fidelity, timeliness with which appropriation funds are released, cash-backed and utilized for ministries, departments, and agencies. The House also notes that during the 2026 budget defense sessions, honorable ministers and heads of MDAs disclosed deeply troubling levels of funding of 2025 budget, including sectors that recorded zero capital releases for the entire fiscal year, and others that received only a token, a fraction of their appropriated capital votes. The House is aware that these disclosures are consistent with repeated protests staged in 2025 and early 2026 by indigenous contractors, Nigerians that have invested heavily to do business with the Nigerian government. At the Federal Ministry of Finance and at the gates of the National Assembly, on one occasion, disrupting plenary sitting because due to unpaid certificates for completed and verified projects, with many contractors unable to service bank loans obtained to execute government projects. The House is also aware that His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, at the Federal Executive Council meeting of 10 December 2025, expressed grave displeasure at the backlog directed the immediate settlement of verified contractor liabilities of about 1.5 trillion naira, and constituted an interministerial committee to harmonize records and deliver a lasting funding solution, declaring his readiness, the readiness of the government to even borrow when necessary to settle verified obligations. Further aware that directive of the National Assembly approved the borrowing in excess of 1 trillion naira, specifically to finance the settlement of outstanding obligations on completed and verified capital projects, in addition to dedicated provisions in the 2026 Appropriation Act for contractor liabilities, while the Honorable Minister for Finance have announced the clearance of substantial sums, announcements which contractors dispute as partial, announcements that I, Honorable Alex Mascot, also disputes. Concerned that notwithstanding the clear directive of Mr. President, the legislative approvals and the ministerial assurances, releases to MDAs remain slow, if I may say non-existent, stalling critical projects, escalating contract costs, exposing contractors to insolvency, and rising non-performing loans, and eroding public trust in the budget of the Federal Republic of Nigeria approved by this Parliament. Disturbed by recent newspaper reportage of a Federal Treasury circular dated 29th June 2026, issued by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, halting payments for zonal intervention and constituency projects unless a certificate of verification and compliance is first obtained from the Federal Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs. A directive which, however, well-intentioned, introduces yet another layer of bureaucratic bottlenecks at the very moment Mr. President has demanded speed and risks turning back the hands of the clock by subjecting duly appropriated, procured, and executed projects to further delay. Accordingly, the House resolves to commend, first, Mr. President for his directive on the immediate settlement of the verified contractor liabilities and urge his full, faithful, and speedy implementation by fiscal authorities. And we also want to urge the President as the father of the nation to make out time, since we have invited ministers, invited security chiefs, invited different members of the Economic Council to come here and explain to us why the budget is not being implemented. We want to use this opportunity to invite the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to this very hallowed chamber to come and explain to the Nigerian people and also to the Parliament on how
what we are saying is not contained in the draft you gave me.
On how we can have the Honorable Speaker. One House, please. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I have his attention.
Please.
Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Alex Mascot Ikweche, and I represent a constituency that amalgamates a people proficient in dexterity and versed in their distinctive tapestry. I speak of no other constituency but Abanot, Aba South Federal Constituency of Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to move a motion on the matters of urgent Like I said earlier, I rise to move a motion under matters of urgent public importance. Order 8, Rule 5 of the House Standing Orders 2023 as amended. The urgent need to address the poor funding and appropriated budgets and delayed releases to MDAs revealed during the 2026 defense sessions. I so move.